World already on the 2020 radar, Kirsten Gillibrand is catapulted into spotlight by Trump. 13 December, 2017 2:18 p.m. 8 minutes to read. On that night in July that U.S. Senator John McCain, R., famously voted against the Republican plan to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Most of his colleagues were spellbound as he sat rebuffing a last-minute overture by Vice President Mike Pence. But not New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Republicans huddled in circles worried about what would become of their push to overhaul American healthcare, and Democrats quietly marveled at the last-minute meltdown, while the 51-year-old junior senator from New York scurried across the chamber with a pen and piece of paper in hand. She was seeking signatures for a letter to Pentagon leaders, asking that they not discharge any transgender military service members until the Defense Department completed a review of its current policy. 2 days before, President Donald Trump had tweeted that he would be ordering the military to stop accepting transgender recruits. 44 colleagues signed the letter, and just this week, a federal judge blocked the president's order. That kind of basic organizing, seeking signatures on a petition and whipping votes in support of a cause, is a skill Gillibrand learned at an early age at the knee of her grandmother. Pauline Noonan was the secretary and close confidant of Erastus Corning, the legendary long-serving mayor of Albany, New York, who helped run the powerful Albany County Democratic Party machine from the 1920s into the early 1980s. My first foray into politics was my grandmother and her lady group. She had this group of women who were incredibly active in grassroots activism and door-to-door campaigning, Gillibrand recalled in a 2012 interview with The Washington Post. My first political memory is sitting at a campaign headquarters with 40 women at a table stuffing envelopes and putting stamps on them, she recalled. It was this image of all these ladies who were so happy and so engaged and doing something outside the home that they really cared about that could make a difference. I've really always believed in the power of women and their advocacy, and that women's voices really matter. Over her nearly 9 years in the Senate, Gillibrand has been notably persistent on issues of equal rights, for gay men and lesbians, transgender people and women. The sexually suggestive attack that Trump lobbed at Gillibrand over Twitter plays right into her portfolio. With a re-election campaign next year that so far has drawn no serious GOP opponent and speculation that she will renege on her vow not to run for president in 2020, the attack may do more political good than harm. In his tweet, Trump labeled Gillibrand a lightweight, who once came begging for campaign contributions and would do anything for them. Gillibrand is now in the ring fighting against Trump, he added. The tweet came shortly after Gillibrand dropped off her young sons at school and as she was seated at a bipartisan Bible study session with Senators Steve Daines, R., Mike Rounds, R., and James Lankford, R. Her phone started vibrating, and aides said they pulled her out of the group to inform her and prepare a response. She was already scheduled to appear at a news conference to unveil a bipartisan bill that would require the installation of under-ride guards on the front and sides of large tractor trailers and update federal guidelines on how they are installed on the back of large trucks. After touting the bill, ushering out her co-sponsors and the family members of people killed in such crashes, Gillibrand called Trump's attack a sexist smear attempting to silence my voice. I will not be silent on this issue, neither will women who stood up to the president yesterday, and neither will the millions of women who have been marching since the Women's March to stand up against policies they do not agree with, she said. Speaking to reporters, Gillibrand called on GOP congressional leaders to launch investigations into the allegations of sexual misconduct against Trump, saying, they should be investigated thoroughly. That is the right thing to do, and I'm urging them to do that, as should their constituents. Asked about her interactions with the president, Gillibrand told reporters that Trump was just a supporter of my first campaign. A few hours later, her re-election campaign sent out a fundraising pitch with the subject line, "Cannot be silenced." Next year will be the third time she has faced New York voters since being appointed to her seat in 2009 after Hillary Clinton resigned to serve as Secretary of State.